Holy cow, Eric's in the house. What's up, Eric? Holy cow, Eric's in the house. What's up, Eric? Holy cow, Eric's in the house. What's up, Eric? Let's get it going, baby. Let's get it going. Arma 3, Livonia, Livonia. Let's get it going, baby. Livonia. Let's get it going. Arma 3, Livonia. You know, let's get it going, baby. Here's the thing. Let's get it going. Arma 3, Livonia. You know, let's get it going, baby.
Antistasi community.
Let's get it going. Arma 3, Livonia. You know, let's get it going, baby.
Antistasi community.
Going Arma when I first started playing this, and then when I played Antistasi Ultimate, going Arma when I first started playing this, and then when I played Antistasi Ultimate, going Arma when I first started playing this, and then when I played Antistasi
Lecture fan chat is
going Arma when I first started playing this, and then when I played Antistasi
Lecture fan chat is
going Arma when I first started playing this.
Lecture fan chat is Lecture fan chat is
Yo. Yo. I have no idea. Is that sound okay now? I mean, I tried mute. I think I muted it, right? Is it fixed now? Mic check. Mic check. I don't know what, but now it looks different. Now I have to mute something I didn't before. I have no idea what, something changed here and I don't know what. Now I'm wondering, does it still sound okay? Or does something sound different? Like, how's my actual audio? The sound is fine. Okay. All right. Thank you. Whew. Weird. How are you doing, Eric?
Zástup. Družstvo. Útočit bez rozkazu. Družstvo. Pohyb. První. Jich.
Holy cow, it's nuts, dude. I don't know how do I have 500 manpower, dude? That's insane. Audi Glaze resub for 45 months. Holy cow, are you serious? Wow, at a tier 1 too. Holy cow, Audi Glaze. Thank you, man. Holy smokes, Audi Glaze with the tier 1 sub on a Friday night. On a Friday night, Arma 3 Antistasi stream, no less. Yo, thank you so much, Audi Glaze. Hope you're doing well, man. Great day and the greatest American of all time is streaming. Amen, brother. With the greatest hair of all time, too. Alright, you guys, we're not joking around this time. I'm going to get these resources. I am not allowing them to continue to have resources. So watch this. Recruit squad, recruit infantry squad, ordinary squad, no vehicle.
Reinforcements have arrived.
I've always just liked the ordinary squads, but...
Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Mám cíl, můžu pálit. Reinforcements have arrived.
How many? Can I do 10 of these things?
Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived.
Holy cow. Okay. No way. Look at it. Look at all of these troops, dude. Oh my word.
Jihovýchod.
This is literally 80 troops. I have 80 troops around here. This is nuts, dude. I'm only gonna send a couple here. I only need 3 max to take these guys out. Dude, what is that guy? Does that guy have a katiba? Let's see if we. I think we have some new. Potentially, we have some new stuff here in the arsenal that we have not checked out yet. All right, M4 we've checked out. The FN file. HK. Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna load.
Jihovýchod.
This gun's okay. Frankly, I should just be using the FN fall. It's more powerful, but. All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my tank going. Well, we'll go.
Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived.
Zodicide. What up, Zodicide? Lecture is better than Lincoln. Lecture is better than Washington. Lecture is better than Reagan. Lecture is better than Trump. Is lecture better than Biden? Dark Brandon is top tier. Zodicide. That's hilarious. That is fantastic, Eric. Love it. Yeah. I think Zodicide is... You have to be joking. Joe Biden, the best president. Nobody would even contemplate such a thing. All right, I'm kind of disappointed, frankly, in the quality of some of these vehicles. The BTR was pretty cool. These tanks were horrible. A Leopard. Six gunners. 4 gunners. BMD 433. Let's try this thing. I don't think I've tried this thing yet. Okay, this thing does have 2 barrels. Oh, and then it's got those guns right there up the front. Whoa, no, I've definitely never gotten into this thing before.
Druhý, třetí, čtvrtý, pátý, šestý, sedmý, nástup. Rozumím. Čtvrtý, nestřílejte! Pátý, čekám na rozkaz. Třetí, můžem. Druhý, připraven. Šestý, čekám. Sedmý, čekám. Čtvrtý, můžem. Šestý, trefil zvláštní.
I don't understand why everybody's saying ceasefire.
Čtvrtý, nestřílejte! Sedmý, nestřílej!
Gotta make sure my frontiers are all garrisoned up. Oh, no way, dude. The U.S. Marine Corps lost this air base. Holy criminy.
Osmý, nestřílej! Osmý, trefil zvláštní! Čtvrtý, trefil zvláštní!
I don't understand why they keep saying ceasefire on Squad Channel. What the heck what are they talking about? The Dems have totally moved on from Biden. I haven't heard anything from him since he left office. True, true. I still can't believe he suggested his uncle was eaten by cannibals in New Guinea. I know. Yeah, he did. He did do that. That is messed up. Oh, wow. There's like a massive fire going on over here.
Kanón. Kanón. Kulomet. Dopředu. Kanón. Kanón. Kulomet. Doleva. Doprava. Doleva. Doprava. Dopředu.
Kanon. Dobře. Sever 100 metrů. Dozadu, dole. Dobře.
This tank is pretty nice. I will say this. This is a pretty nice tank. I am enjoying this tank more than some of the other vehicles I've purchased. Whoa! Yo, 100 for Harmony Dylan, 100 for Lecture Fan. Yes! Yo, that was great news, wasn't that, Audi Glaze? I was so excited to hear that Harmony Dylan got confirmed as an Assistant Attorney General. That is fantastic. Yeah, we have so much to be thankful for, Audi Glaze. Good point. Thank you for the bits. Holy cow, I love how this fast travel on this thing takes like 40 seconds. I'm like, how is that fast travel? I mean, granted, it is all the way across the entire map, but still. Man, crazy. It snowed yesterday, and then all of it melted today, and then it's supposed to be like 60 degrees tomorrow. Hopefully. Let me see. Is it still supposed to be in the 60s tomorrow? No, it's only supposed to get up to 55 tomorrow. Oh, it's supposed to be up to 63 tomorrow, 69 on Monday. Oh, yeah. Oh, at least it's supposed to be sunny tomorrow, though, and 55, so that'll be nice. We're in a warming trend. Gunners shoot.
Jak si na tom? 7. Jak si na tom? 6. Přebírám velení. Mám 5 střílet. Kurva, 2. To schytal. Máme raněnýho. 7. To schytal.
Be honest, those confirmation hearings are basically for show formality. Oh, I just noticed that. Here's what I actually, I mean,
3, 5,
I think
7,
most of what goes. I think most of what goes on in Congress on like the floor or whatever in public and committee hearings and all that stuff. I think all of it's basically fake. It's all for show.
Three, sit rep. 4, sit rep.
Dude, what the heck is that thing up there? Oh, that's a is that a civilian helicopter?
New vehicle SF deployed to your AO. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived.
Be advised, low fuel. Get in that vehicle! Rozumím.
Druhý, připraven. Třetí, může. Šestý, připraven. Čtvrtý, může. Sedmý, čeká. Dochází palivo. Dochází palivo.
Wow, dude. 52 seconds to fast travel. That seems ridiculous. Ten seconds. The White House, or President Trump tweeted out like a thing about attacks on Houthis and how like they were gathering to train for an attack, and he like bombed them and killed them all. And then he said they will never hurt our ships again. Altair, what's up, Altair? Dude, that Houthis post was hilarious. Oops. Yeah. Oops. Oops. There will be no attack by these guys. Yo, Altair. How's everyone Friday's going? Fantastic. Oh, Prolaw here. Riding Fence, what's up? Sussy, what's up, Sussy? What, is that everybody? Did I read everything? Yes. Isn't it against Geneva Convention, so now we're, yeah, but we're rebels. Oh, he gave up. I can't believe those punk ass bitches actually frickin' took out my tank that cost me $30,000. And then they have the gall to just give up. They're not going to be happy about that. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that.
Družstvo, pohyb, první, jihovýchod. Družstvo, pohyb, první, jihovýchod.
Okay, I got 12 garrison there. I think I need to garrison a couple more here. Alright, those are fully up, fully up, fully up. These are all fully up. I need to put 2 of them there. Oh crap, I don't have any here.
Sektor čistý.
Okay, now I got 12 there, 12 there. 24 there. 12 there. Are there any more freaking resources? Honestly, because like the main thing at this point that I really need is the freaking resources. I want the money. I don't need manpower anymore. Like I've got... There is another resource right here.
Gunship, 400 meters. Right.
A gunship?
Sit rep. Fuck, man down.
Are you serious? I can't. Are you kidding me? I couldn't get a freaking lock on it? Frick, you know what I need to do is just go, go do maybe someone just... You know what I can do is just send in mass amounts of troops at the airbase. That's one thing I can do. Dude, I want to kill this frickin' heli. Come on. Dude, this thing's a piece of crap.
Mám cíl, můžu pálit. 500 metrů.
This thing still hasn't expanded beyond this stuff.
Jich. Bingo fuel. 2, 3. Get in that vehicle.
Rozumím.
Yo, Utopia, Dystopia, what's up?
Dochází palivo.
Is it...
Druhý.
Panic, stock market down $2 trillion yesterday. S&P down $4 trillion. Yep. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely nuts? Nice, take him out. Nice. What is happening? Am I getting bombed? I'm getting attacked by that. Wow, dude. Now my wheel's blown out. Yo, Hendrick Jones. What up, Hendrick Jones?
Rozumím. Druhý, připraven. Třetí, připraven.
What? All right, at least we're making 5,000 now.
Jeho východ.
Ready.
Oh, nice. I have armor piercing. An insane amount of scopes in this game, man. I wonder what this is.
Čisto.
Holy cow. Look at the size of this thing. What the heck is this thing? Anti-air. Alright. We'll try this one, I guess. This guy have stuff in his uniform? What the hell's he got in here? Oh. I don't understand how I already have all these grenades and crap. Oh, because of this. Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay. Let's see if we can do a logistics mission. There it is. There it is. Airbase is disturbing our operations. Go there and capture it. Okay. Here it goes, guys. We're going to go for the airbase. I don't really even care at this point. I've got the manpower. I'm not going to waste money on huge tanks or anything like that. I'm just going to send in massive amounts of squads.
Be advised, reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived.
Družstvo, přesun na pozici. Východ.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Mám cíl, můžu pálit.
Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived.
Družstvo, pohyb první, sever.
Oh, man, that is a lot of...
Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived. Be advised. Reinforcements have arrived.
Task completed. Fighter destroyed. Sweet.
Mám cíl, můžu pálit. Mám cíl, můžu pálit.
We've assigned you a vehicle asset.
Bingo fuel. Get in that vehicle.
Rozumím. Pátý, můžem. Druhý, můžem. Dochází palivo. Osmý, čekám. Šestý, připraven. Třetí, můžem. Sedmý, připraven.
Oh, man.
Dochází palivo.
All right. There's really not a lot of any other resources I could grab. I have most of the resources, I feel like. There's this one, but I got that one. That one. Got these two. So I'm in good shape, man. Well, let's go see what kind of havoc we can cause. Okay, I got me a little walk back, whatever. Wait, how's my income only 4,500? Oh, I wonder if there's factories. I should focus on getting some factories. shit, my AI may have difficulties crossing the river. I don't know. Morons. I love how this thing is getting like 15 FPS. Probably because of all the mods I have on and stuff. How high I set like asset levels. Yeah, it is. It's a very smooth ride through the fields, yep.
Šestý, čekám. Sedmý, připraven. Osmý, přijel. Druhý, čekám.
Truck, 100 meters. Front.
Třetí, připraven.
Boom! Got him! Yeah, they're all tied up in the river.
500 metrů.
Holy crap, man. Is it this easy to capture one of these air bases? Look at all these jets and stuff, dude.
Kurva, nestřílet! Kurva, pomoc! Pátý. Nepřítel! Čekám na rohu. Severu. Severovýchod, 500 metrů.
I don't understand how he killed so many of them.
Mám cíl upálit 200 metrů.
I 100% believe you, Guess. I 100% believe that.
Mám cíl, můžu pálit. Mám cíl, můžu pálit. Druhý, připraven.
I think this counterattack force could be potentially pretty brutal. Yeah, there it is. Correct.
Severovýchod 500 metrů. 8. Připraven. Kurva, já to koupil!
Can we literally take this out and fly this? Please tell me we can fly this right now.
Stay the threat.
Oh shit. Dang it, how it's in why is that broken? I wanna dude, I swear I really hope one of these jets works. Please tell me this one's not injured. Perfect condition, let's go.
300 meters, northeast.
Třetí, příjem.
Please help. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom
Druhý,
break
velí třetí.
and grab all
Nástup.
food.
Druhý, čeká. První, to chytal. Severovýchod. Šestý, velí třetí. Šestý, čeká.
Ready for orders.
Družstvo. Zastavit palbu! Zástup. Družstvo. Útočit bez rozkazu. Družstvo. Pohyb. První, jich.
Two, join group. Two, sit rep.
Ugh. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to. Where are all my squads at? Wow, they're all up here. Oh, there's an out. Wait, did I lose my airbase already? Wait, the Marines took it? Either way, let's throw on a YouTube video to watch together because I'm gonna just eat a thing of yogurt and a couple oranges here, and then I'll go back to playing this.
Groups like this get together quite frequently before announcements like Liberation Day today, and we talk through what the president's decision is, what's the purpose of that decision, and how it's going to be implemented, and then we strategize on how to communicate it to the American people. That communication usually goes through the media. They pick and choose the facts they want to focus on and the narratives they want to drive, And so we thought we'd do it a little bit differently this time. Take out the media and show the American people what the conversation's like that we normally have. Get into the details, the thinking, and the purpose of this and how it's in through the short term and long term is going to affect the American people. Stephen, you've been with the president for a long time. You were a part of the first administration and some of the battles economically, taxes, that had historic impacts on improving the economy. Today's a big day. Can you talk about the president's historical view on global trade and the tool of tariffs or the use of tariffs that he envisions, not just through Liberation Day today, but how he's used it over the year?
Yes, guys. Isn't that ridiculous, that ruling out of Montana, guys? Totally ridiculous.
Yes. Well, the announcement today is the most significant action on global trade policy that has taken place in our lifetimes. It's not even a close call. I mean, this is probably the biggest event that's happened on global trade since the very ill-fated decision that we are now reversing of knocking down all of America's trade tariffs and revenue policies that led to the offshoring and outsourcing of all of our industries. So this is the great reversal of that great betrayal, is how I would look at it. So in the 20th century, successive American presidents knocked down all of the policies that we had to protect American industry, and they did insane things like letting China into the World Trade Organization, as an example. And we watched all of our factories go overseas. This is the complete reversal of that. This is the great onshoring, the great reshoring of American jobs and wealth. So if you look at America today, we're totally dependent on foreign countries for the supplies that make this country run, for all of the essential goods, materials, manufactured products that make it possible for us to live our lives. Our cars, our electronics, all the materials that go into our homes, our buildings, our medical supplies, our entire supply chains are completely embedded in foreign countries. So if there's a national emergency of any kind, and a country shuts off an import, or a foreign power embargoes a sea lane, we are then left defenseless, helpless, because of the decisions that prior leaders made that President Trump is now reversing to let all of these industries leave our country. And so what he's doing today is, for the first time ever, he's saying that if you have stolen our jobs and therefore threatened our national security, we will apply a reciprocal tariff based on the degree of your misconduct. So for countries like China, for example, they will see a very high tariff rate because they've engaged in the most egregious conduct that threatens our national security. For countries that have severe but not as severe misconduct, they'll see a moderate but not as high tariff rate. The effect, though, of those global tariffs will be that companies will have to move their production back into the United States. So factories will leave, whether it be Mexico or Canada or Vietnam or Cambodia or China or the European Union. They will come back to the United States to produce their products, to make their goods. And in so doing, yes, it will create jobs. Yes, it will increase revenues. But most importantly, it will restore our national security so that we will not be dependent on anyone else to survive and thrive as a nation. That's the significance we're talking about today, the most important economic event of our lifetimes.
And Stephen, he didn't just wake up this morning and say, I want to implement tariffs. You talk about the national security crisis, but this is something the president has thought about, discussed, contemplated for years, decades?
Yes, his entire professional life. If you go back to interviews with President Trump in the 1970s, he's been speaking passionately about this issue. And he warned, for example, in the 1980s about all of our critical industries moving to, at that time, Japan. And he warned for years as well about the loss of our automotive industry, which is an essential element of our national security. Those supply chains are essential for our ability to protect and defend our country, to make automobiles. And he's been focused on this issue for decades.
He took out an entire one-page ad in the New York Times in the 80s talking about the threat of Japanese mercantilism and all the unfair trade practices they had that were killing our manufacturing.
Yes.
So Jameson, the devil's in the details, as they say. So what are the details of this plan?
Sure. Well, Stephen just highlighted some of these. First of all, we're doing a reciprocal tariff, right? This is a golden rule for the golden age. We treat them how they treat us. As Stephen mentioned, we expect that those countries that treat us very poorly, where they have documented behavior over many years of whether it's high tariff levels or extreme trade barriers or taxes or other kind of charges that discriminate against our companies or burden our companies, they are naturally going to have higher rates, because to achieve the kind of reciprocity we need, you have to have a higher rate. And then there are going to be other countries that have a lower rate because maybe they have a different level of unfairness or non-reciprocity. And we expect that there will be a global minimum on all countries, because we have to deal with this deficit. We also want to make sure that there's no cheating, that we don't have people going from one jurisdiction to another to try to get around the tariff. We need to make sure that we have no loopholes in this policy, because as Stephen points out, it's an emergency. The urgency of what's happening right now cannot be overstated. That's why the president on day one announced he wanted us to look into it. We looked into it over the past couple of months, and we're taking action the day after we reported back to him. I have right here a book full of all of the unfair trade practices by our top 100 partners. We published it just a couple days ago.
And you said something interesting. Some countries will try to get around the tariffs by shipping their product through another country. They store it there for a couple months, and then it all becomes the sale of another country. Can you talk through how that works?
Sure. Well, we're stopping that. We don't want a situation where China, for example, might just send a bunch of parts down to Vietnam. Vietnam, puts them together in a light assembly and sends it over and says this is a product of Vietnam. At this point, we will have the kinds of tariffs we need and a broad-based tariff to stop that kind of behavior. And of course, we're going to be very, very focused on enforcement to make sure nobody does that kind of thing.
And the media uses the word tariff very broadly. What kind of tariffs are there, and how do they work?
Oh, certainly. I mean, we have, for example, rice. Japan, in some instances, will put a 700% tariff on rice. So if the United States wants to export rice to Japan, where they eat a lot of rice, Japan will charge a 700% rate on that rice. It's incredible, right? Ours is much lower. Apples in the United States, if you want to import apples into the United States, it's duty-free. It's a 0% tariff. But if we're going to go to India, it's about 50%. If you want to go to Turkey and send American apples to Turkey, it's a 60% tariff. And so it prevents it. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part are the non-tariff barriers, where they use fake science or fake standards or other barriers to keep out our things.
And Caroline, obviously Jamison thinks a lot about this. It's why he's the USTR. How should the normal American person, the consumer, think about tariffs?
Well, first of all, to the average American who's watching at home and trying to understand what this means for them, don't buy into the media's lies and the fear that they're going to try to instill in you after this announcement, because we know that's exactly what the media will try to do. The president is looking out for the average American worker who has been ripped off by the elite political class for decades. And so what does this tariff policy look like? As Jamison so brilliantly said, it's the golden rule for the golden age of America. We're finally going to be treated the way we're going to treat other countries, the way that we've been treated for too long. The president's going to put American workers first. But what does it look like? Think about your hometown where you grew up, in the heartland, in middle America, factories that have been abandoned, workers who have been put out of jobs, drug-addicted generations of children and of families because there aren't good industry here at home. There is not good industries here at home in their hometowns. The president wants to restore that prosperity and that wealth, more money in people's pockets. The media will also continue to talk a lot about prices and what this will do to prices. And the American people need to understand that the president will effectively implement these tariffs while also having a whole-of-government approach to bring down the cost of living in this country. There was an inflation nightmare created by the previous administration, and while simultaneously implementing these fair trade practices to put America first, the president is already launching a massive deregulatory campaign, a massive energy boom where gas prices are already coming down, inflation is cooling, and so it's an all-hands-on-deck effort.
Egg prices are coming down.
That's right.
You're seeing it across the board. Now, and it's important to understand, and I think, Caroline, you've talked about this a lot, this is decades of failed political leadership. We're not going to get over it or change it without some fundamental reform. it's Biden administration definitely accelerated it, but this was decades of economic misstructuring of the economy.
And there's nothing the media and the political class hate more than change, and this is monumental change. The president is focused on restructuring the global economy, on restructuring our domestic economy as well. And the politicians in this city have not seen a president who is actually willing to take the steps to implement such change really in modern history. So believe in this president. He was elected for a reason because he's looking out for the American people across our country. And today is the first day of that in terms of trade and tariffs.
That's why we call it Liberation Day.
That's right.
And Stephen, on that, can you talk, what is the goal here? Well, what should the American people look forward to? What is the hope and dream that we're trying to pursue?
So if you went to a store in America in, say, the 1950s, and you looked at where the products were made, it would have said made in the USA. That would have been the stamp you would have seen on everything. From the toys that your children buy, to the clothes that you wear, to the cars that you buy, and everything in between. You know, if you grew up in the 1980s, you would have seen a lot of things still stamped made in the USA, but a lot less. By the time you get to the early 2000s, after NAFTA, after China's entry into the World Trade Organization, after other disastrous trade deals, it started to look more like we see it now, where you go to the store and everything is stamped made in the foreign country. Made in Romania, made in Thailand, made in Cambodia, made in Malaysia, made in China, but not made in the USA. So that means those good, high-paying jobs that should be here in America are not here in America. At the same time, it also means that for a lot of the more advanced manufacturing jobs, these are essential industries that can be converted at a moment's notice to core national security needs. And so when you don't have those factories, you don't have the training, and you don't have the workforce to be able to meet our nation's needs in a time of an emergency. So we are outsourcing to other countries the things that we need to keep America safe. The end result of this is going to be far more high-paying manufacturing jobs. These are jobs where you can support a family, you get a retirement plan, you get a pension, you have good health care, you're paid well above what you would consider to be the living wage for these new advanced manufacturing jobs. These are jobs you can build a family and a community around. At the same time, it's going to relieve inflation because it's actually the most cost-effective to make things in the United States of America. People don't think about this, but all those products you see on these store shelves that are shipped from thousands of miles away, we're paying the cost of all that shipping built into the price of the good. So it's actually more economically efficient, particularly with advanced manufacturing techniques, to have these factories in the United States, near where you live, putting products on your store shelves, not having to ship things all over the globe. So you're actually going to see prices go down because our products are being built and manufactured here in the United States. The most important point to understand is that tariffs do not apply to any product that is made in the United States. So the original sin of how the modern economy in America is structured, the president talks about more than anything else. And I guess to Caroline's point about the overall economic vision, the original sin was that we created a tax system that punished you for making something in America and rewarded you for making something in China or a foreign country. So in other words, if you had your factory in America, you paid a sky-high corporate tax rate, you were beaten to death with regulation, you had radically unaffordable energy prices, and Washington just in every way made your life miserable.
And the political class didn't do anything about it. They allowed it to happen.
Correct.
Well,
they sat by and watched it happen for decades.
They actually wanted the opposite to happen, especially if you look at the 90s when we had NAFTA, we had the WTO, we had the entry of China into the WTO. The goal very clearly was to remove U.S. tariff and trade barriers to make it easier for people to outsource to China. Because once we gave China what we call permanent normal trade relations, all of your manufacturers in the United States who are thinking in short terms in terms of quarterly earnings and that kind of thing, they said, listen, now I can go move my factory from Indiana or wherever, I can put it in China, I can put it in Mexico, and I know I will have sure access to the U.S. market. Today, President Trump is saying the best place to make American products and sell American products is here in America. If you make in America, you're not going to have a tariff.
Think about how pernicious that deal is that he's describing that was made. This was done by the Bushes, this was done by the Clintons, this was done by many American administrations.
Republicans and Democrats.
Republicans and Democrats. They said to the factory owner, if you really want to be competitive, you need to move your factory to China. That's the best way to sell into America. And so all of a sudden you're living in a community where one day there's these thriving factory towns, and the next day all the factories are in Shanghai. And so my point about the original sin, it was the sin of saying that we were going to give the most favorable treatment to foreign production, the least favorable treatment to American production. It's completely inverted, right? So the president is saying today is the opposite of that. If you have your factory in America, you pay no tariff. We are going to reduce your taxes, and we're going to reduce your regulations and reduce your energy costs. So you're going to get the best possible deal, but you have to do it here.
And to anyone questioning the effectiveness of the president's trade and tariff agenda, look at what has happened before Liberation Day. We have had billions and billions of dollars
Billions,
worth of
almost 2.7 now?
great investments, yes, into our country. You have some of the biggest companies in the world like Apple and Hyundai announcing investments in American communities. That are jobs in these communities, that's manufacturing in these communities. Those are American families who are going to now be able to live the American dream because of these investments, and the tariffs haven't even been implemented. So President Trump is serving as America's businessman in chief, America's negotiator in chief, by encouraging and incentivizing, for once, finally, for these companies to do business here. We have the labor, we have the resources, we have the best market in the world. There's no reason we shouldn't have a president who's trying to champion America and America First policies.
And Caroline, he had identified the problem, and he's got a solution. But you spoke to this before. Tariffs are a big part of the solution here, but it's not the only part.
Right.
Companies coming in, we've all been sitting in meetings with him where he says, what is your problem for coming back? What's getting in your way? Is it regulations? Let's solve that problem. The president he talked about it in a press conference this week. He had Stellantis, big car manufacturer, some of the best brands that there is. And he says, what is your problem? He says, all the regulations. You have California that's just crippling car manufacturing with their erroneous green new scam regulations. We need to pull them back. The president gets on the phone. He wants to bring companies back. He wants to bring jobs back. He wants to bring wealth back. He wants to make things more affordable. Jameson, how is he doing that?
Well, let's remember that he has a great track record. If you look at the first term, the president used tariffs to great effect, and he coupled it with great tax bill, great energy policy, all things we're talking about now. And what happened in the first term? Inflation went down, unemployment went down, real median household income went up for every demographic. I mean, this is incredible. We had manufacturing jobs went up, so we know it can be done. He's already done it before. We're a couple months in, we're already doing it now. He knows exactly how to use the tools of the economy, whether they're trade tools and tariffs or other tools, to really make sure that America can be competitive, that American workers can have good jobs, and American families can have prosperity in their communities where they live.
And we want to wrap this up. So, Stephen, Caroline, some last messages. What do you think the biggest takeaway